Warning, the following episode of Boots on the Ground contains mature language. View at your own discretion. Okay, so let's get started. It is 28th of September 2013, and will be Boots on the Ground episode 17. Joining me tonight, they've actually fixed Google Hangouts now. This side, it's hidden. Delta hidden, Charlie hidden, Drake hidden.
Everything hidden.
How's it going?
Yeah, quite good. I got some hate mail today. Shot some pistols. Killed a heavy.
I remember that. That was fun.
Won tournament.
Cool. And on this side, starting with closest, DS the Drunk Heavy. How's it going, DS?
I'm good. Getting
Drunk.
Getting drunk. Having my my Jaeger nuke. That's how I recover from drunk night. I got completely smashed last night. It was great. A lot of fun. Giveaway. I think our giveaway was 75 million-isk last night. It wasn't too bad. Wasn't as much as I wanted, but it wasn't too bad. So, yeah. Doing good.
Cool. And joining us for the first time in... been a long time, actually. Like a couple, 3 episodes, something like that.
Yeah, about that.
Danny from Dust University. Also, we have nice little, things down here. Your names, so you can totally see who's talking there. How's it going, Danny?
Oh, it's going very well. It's been a good week, as far as Dust's concerned, for me. But we'll talk about that later.
Oh yeah, we got patch 1.5 notes to look forward to. Good timing by CCP, by the way. Thanks for posting them the day before the show.
Yeah, and
good.
the patch notes a week before it comes out. It's like, what's that about?
Alright, Logibro doing some work there, I think. Joining also, try that again. Also joining us, the Oso Catalani. How's it going?
Good. I'm not on Reddit anymore.
Well, no, you are. You're on the top, underneath the advert bit.
Oh, right. Yeah, I forgot about that.
Yeah. How's it going? How's Dust writing for Danny going?
It
Have you
doesn't.
written anything since you were last on?
I've been putting together a video for just, not for the Matani.com, but for other, like YouTube and that sort of thing.
Cool.
Because it seems the editors don't really care about Dust anymore.
I hear your head editor now works for PlanetSide 2 developers?
He's one of them, yeah.
Okay. Anyway, I'll try not to bait too much. Also joining us on the far end is Past Reaver. How's it going, Reaver?
Not too bad. How y'all doing?
Good, thanks. So, I guess we'll just get started then. We've got quite a few things to get into tonight. First one will just be the patch notes. Came out yesterday. Don't know how much everybody here's looked at them. I'm guessing a lot.
Yep.
Absolutely.
So we're gonna go through all of them fairly quickly, and I'll let everybody go through a different section because I'm lazy. So I guess we'll start with Neocom. Who wants to do Neocom changes?
No one, because it's boring.
Oh, but you get squad finders.
Yeah. And the third-person camera switches to view the active character from the front when the Neocom is open. You can actually see the face of your merc.
Game of the year. Every year.
I don't know how many hours I spent trying to trick the camera into looking at the front.
Yeah,
We've
actually
all
I
done
have
it.
as well, to be fair.
Everyone's pretending they haven't, but we all know they bloody well have.
Although I've heard people complaining that they can't do it without turning the Neocom thing on. Like, you can't just turn it to view the front of your Merc. You have to actually have this thing on. So people finding problems with this patch already.
But no. Let's see what we got. Then we got Neocom. Does anyone know why it's now open by default? The Neocom.
To speed up the process of going into battles.
Really?
Basically.
Because it's so hard to hit that one button.
Yeah.
It is. It's really hard.
I'm always finding it a bitch pressing L1. But, you know, what the hell, they're doing something.
Yeah.
Just
The
makes you
third
wonder
person-
who is actually having trouble with that.
Actually, wait. Keyboard users were thinking about it. Because I cannot for the life of you tell me where that button is. I use my pad for all menus. But arrow keys and the enter key actually works for that. So it actually does help keyboard users a bit.
It's the escape button.
I
That
actually
was-
have one of those as well.
Yeah, you can turn on the little tips on the bottom to be keyboard buttons.
Yeah, I know. But I prefer doing the pad for menus anyway. The keyboard pad thing I use doesn't have arrow keys. Doesn't accept WASD for moving up, down, left, and right on menus. Yeah. Anyway, enough about keyboards. Sure, like,
Yeah.
people are really
Well, see,
interested in
that's
this
the next
shit.
one.
Okay.
Various relevant tips have been added to the fitting screen panels. That's kind of interesting. I
We'll see
want to
what
know
they
what the tips are first
see if
before I
they're
reserve
actually
judgment.
relevant.
Yeah, and if they're actually relevant.
I hope it's something like telling you, like, the different variations of guns. Like, this gun shoots faster, but it has less range or something like that.
Mm,
For like, and different ARs or whatever.
It could just be something for the new player experience, as like a tie with the new tutorials. Something
Yeah.
like that.
Right, I'll go through the Neocom actually. I'll do
Yay!
that.
Fine, we made him do it.
Okay, skills window correctly gives the default action for not purchased skills as purchased rather than train. I read that entire sentence and I didn't understand it.
They just reworded.
I think it's just they're changing
a word.
a word.
Okay.
I don't think that's really worthy of a patch note bullet, but okay.
Yeah, okay. Next thing, added squad finder. Yes. As many Eve players know how good Fleet Finder is over what we have in Dust right now.
Yeah, Fleet
Actually-
Finder is a godsend.
Yeah, it's. I guess you could say lol Eve players, but this is actually a really good change. I'm really happy about it.
Mm-hmm.
So it allows you to create squads which can be listed publicly and people can join them, and you can set how open they are, so alliance people are free to join them, or court people are free to join them. I don't think friends list is an option.
Not yet, no, but apparently I've heard that it is going to be.
That's good. So for the moment it'll be corp and alliance.
Mm-hmm.
People can just join your squad at will, or you can make it completely public
Yeah.
and give them names, and I think it's just, it speeds up the process. You don't have to type LFS anymore and
Yeah.
anything like that.
That means my welcome mail's going to have to get changed, but there you go.
Oh, but now chat channels will be filled with chat as opposed to, like,
You know,
people
the
typing
swap
out
Meaningful
stuff.
things.
Yeah. And yeah, I'm looking forward to like not having to go out and find people for squads and just saying like the squad's open, join it. Kind of
Mm-hmm.
wondering what other people's thoughts are on it as well.
I think it could be a good recruitment tool also.
I think
Just having a bunch of guys open them up.
I think the proto stompers who just squad up to win public matches are going to lose 100% of their matches now because they're actually not good at the game. and now everyone else is squadding up against them.
Yeah, yeah. You could actually have proto hunters. So
That's basically what my alt tune was, Tech Dra. Just skill into the most damaging weapon in the game, which is the pistol, and just shoot people in the face, and they die. Doesn't matter what you're in, you're gonna die.
It also solves the problem of like there's some people in your corp that are in a squad, but they're in a battle right now, and you aren't entirely sure if they are or not, or just ignoring you.
mm,
So it'll actually tell you if they're in a battle rather than just waiting 20 minutes
well, like I
and
say,
then
one of
joining,
the
joining an
suggestions.
ambush.
Yeah, one of the suggestions I gave CCP at FanFest and in a couple of emails is that why don't they just have the background behind your name changed to red, green, or a cross next to it, is just to say that you're available. You know, red being you're offline or in a squad, or AFK or in a squad, and green you're ready to go, and red just red cross saying not bothered at all about anything at the moment, just leave me alone.
Yeah, I mean, the
So-
other games
I'm
have that.
sulking. Yeah, so I'm sulking about the guy that just headshotted me with a pistol.
He was pretty mad. he had a heavy with over 1,500 HP, and I 3-shot him. He wasn't pleased.
Yeah, actually, like, and things like, I've started streaming, so I might start doing things like public squads, and just, like, letting people join the squad. That makes things a lot easier for that.
Hmm.
You can just say, like, streaming, like, comms squad, or whatever. Just
Yeah.
come in and adds up a lot. Like, there's a lot of cool things that, it's just a really good
Yeah.
quality of life change.
Yeah, and it's not something that people don't understand it as being new content. They go, "Oh, it's not new content." Well, it seems bloody new to me because we didn't have it before. That's the very definition of new. So, you know, anything that makes the game easier for people to get into is a plus, in my opinion. You know, so
I'll definitely be using it for drunk night because it'll make it a lot easier. Because right now, once you get really drunk, it's a little hard to find people.
just
and
type the name
actually-
in pre-game.
Exactly. So like we'll just have like drunk night 1, drunk night 2, drunk night 3. You know, and if they're all full, they'll be able to see that they're all full, and they can start at drunk night 4, and just keep it going. So I mean, hopefully, I don't know exactly how it works because I'm lazy and didn't read anything.
Well, I don't think the devlog actually showed.
But
any
you
pictures
can
of it, so.
can you search?
Yeah, there's like a public list of the squads that you can see.
So like if they type in drunk night, it would pop up drunk night 1, drunk night 2, drunk night 3, and then like if some random idiot made a fake one. Okay. Well, that's cool. Yeah. Gonna use it.
I just
Awesome.
need to know if the names are persistent at all. That'd be interesting. What was it? The
Reaver made a
Like-
good point earlier, actually. As far as names go, you could have like recruitment squads as well. So you just open public squads with a couple of your core members in, looking for people. It'll be interesting to see how they get used.
Well, yeah, I mean, that's the beauty of the sandbox, isn't it? We always find ways of using stuff that CCP give us that they don't imagine in the first place, you know. Always surprises them whenever we think of stuff.
Like forge guns and rooftops and dropships. Oh
I
my.
hate that associated with it. DS confirmed the most hated person in Dust 514, according to a recent survey.
Most likely, yeah.
I think Ariana is hated more, although
Yeah, I
that's
think
going to be
Ariana's a
short-lived.
little too close.
I think most of the hate from Mariana is just Movado.
Oh no, it isn't. Okay, one last thing about the squad finder, or two last things I should say actually. One of them on the patch notes is going to be a latency indicator, so you can see what region the squad leader is. Go to look at squads. Going to be really nice because it's really annoying joining up with like a West Coast or an Asian or an Australian player as a European, because then I have to play on West Coast or Australia or Asia. not fun servers to play on as a European. So I'm looking forward to that. And the other one was something they mentioned in the blog about it, I think, was they're going to be expanding these to be full teams at some point. It didn't make it in this patch, but it's going to be in a later one.
Mm.
So I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah, for a full 16. I mean, that's just going to be perfect for pub matches.
Warfare.
And this is just the first step towards doing that.
Well, again, I mean, I posted something on the forums today. I mean, everything has to be built up from a root and branch system. So this kind of thing is actually a root part of a gameplay. Once they get this up and running, they can then add things to it. And a lot of people don't seem to forget that. So this is I mean, the whole totality 1.5 with the other stuff that we're going to come up to. I'm actually really liking 1.5 for that reason alone. It's just adding a lot more core stuff that's necessary.
Well, I mean, this development strategy of just bit by bit over time is pretty much unheard of as far as consoles go, at least.
Yeah, I mean, again, I put it on the forums. I think I tweeted the link to what I put. They've managed to do in 3 months and 4 point builds more than what they did in over a year of closed and open beta. You know, so the game's progressed more in those 4 months than those 3 months than could be imagined.
Yeah,
because obviously the closed beta was just like 6 months before there was anything changed. So.
Like if you look back at what Uprising 1.0 was like, crazy to think that we were playing a game like that with like guns didn't fire beyond a certain point. Oh my god. And there was the frame rate issue. People forget about that. The frame rate was at like 10 and it wouldn't go above that.
Yeah.
Guns wouldn't stop firing after someone had died. Heavies had 2,000 HP.
But yeah, anyway, we're gonna keep going with this next part of the patch notes. New player experience. Denny is gonna be pretty happy about this as well.
Yeah, again, I'm gonna wait till it actually starts running. I mean, I'll get a couple of characters created for it just to see. I have given them some feedback over the last few months about how I think the new player experience should be. Hopefully they might have taken something on that on board. Although Logibro was saying that there's a special place that they put all my feedback. Thanks for that, Logibro, if you're watching. But, I mean, how have they done it? Completely revised now, following a task-driven structure that rewards players for demonstrating proficiency in joining battles, creating fittings and training skills. But the thing that's making me interested is it's going to give you rewards in the form of militia drop suits, vehicles, weapons, and modules. So it's going to be like the training missions, tutorials in EVE. You're going to get stuff for completing them, which is going to make a lot of people happy, I think.
One thing I'm actually interested in is if everybody will be able to do these tutorials. Like, it doesn't matter how long you've been playing, I think everybody should have the option to go through them at least once.
Well, I mean, you can turn the tutorials on and off now, can't you? Within the settings,
yeah,
you can redo them. So it'd be interesting to be able to do it from the standpoint of an established character. But the modules and everything being added to you as you complete this stuff is going to help you within the Battle Academy, I think, because it's going to give you stuff that you wouldn't necessarily think to buy yourself. So anything that's going to help the newer players, which is what I'm all about, is going to be a plus.
Anyone else got any thoughts on this?
Just new player experience. It's better than what EVE is already.
Really?
At the start, yeah. With EVE, it's still, you have all these missions, and then eventually the missions just stop. And then it's like, join faction warfare. Bye.
Yeah, joint faction warfare, and jump into the next system and then get blown the crap out of you.
And that's EVE's new player experience. The old player experience was, here's 5,000 ISK, and the
Bugger
worst
off.
ship you will ever fly. Go away. Just go. On, go. No, don't look at me. I'm not holding your hand. Go.
I don't know. I actually had a court mate start playing Eve from having played Dust and not playing Eve before, and he was like, "Wow, this new player experience is so good compared to Dust."
Well,
So I guess it
matter
depends.
of
Although he's
perspective,
actually
isn't it?
since rage quit Eve, so
oh, so in that case, it's been an exemplary effect. Brilliant.
The training
New
mission's
players.
ended.
Yeah,
actually, yeah, that's probably exactly what happened.
yeah.
Oh,
He-
right.
he hit the
Let's
cliff.
move on then from new player experience.
So new Warpoint rewards.
Yep. So, a bunch of these. The first one is scanners will now give assists kill someone who 10 seconds after the scan has ended if the target was damaged while scanned. You get 15 war points for every one of these.
From your squad members. That is.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think so. Yeah, from
Just
your squad members. Yeah,
Yeah.
from
Yeah.
if they're squad members.
Because
Oh,
it's squad vision only, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that makes sense.
Oh, and
But,
25 war points for vehicles or installations.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, just in the today, I would have got 2 or 3 OBs just purely from my scanning. So if the war points were already in, so yeah, that's going to be. I mean, the scanners are already coming into their own now. You can't go into a game now without a scanner.
Yeah,
Your
that's a
squad.
big problem. Is like they haven't specifically stated, so I don't think they have. Is they changed the threshold for orbital strikes, so this is going to make orbital strikes even more common.
Easy to get.
Yeah,
I mean, they're relatively easy now to get if you're in a good organised squad of reasonably seasoned players.
It depends if you're having a good match, like on your own. When Gimbal squads with me every so often, and generally I'll generate one almost on my own, or in some matches I'll generate 1 or 2 on my own.
Yeah, I've done that a couple times.
So it is easy to do, but just with adding, especially with the war point, the scanner thing. For example, the 25 war points for installations. It's going to make the start of the match where everyone just hacks a turret and then shoots another turret to get 100 war points.
Yeah.
And then everybody will everyone will recognize that turret's going to be destroyed, so everyone shoots it to get 20 war points. What it's doing is you can now scan it and then shoot it to get war points. So you might.
Yeah, but would it give you the war points for a scanned neutral turret or installation?
Yeah, that's true. Maybe not.
I think it would probably have to have been captured by the enemy.
Yeah.
That
I
would
don't
make
really
sense
see
to
the
me.
point of for installations because you always know where they are, regardless of what side
No.
they're on.
The new installations will move. That's why, obviously. Spider installations.
That turret just get up and walk away? What the hell?
It's like, nope, I'm out. It's off. Equipment destruction is the biggest one. By
Yes.
far.
5 war
love
points
that
per
idea.
equipment destruction.
That's
Just going to make flux grenade users so happy.
Oh, yes.
I think it's going to make flux grenades come back, because flux grenades used to be the biggest meta out of most of the grenades besides AV, and then the fuse locus ones, the contact nades.
Hmm.
So now they're just going to be a massive war point generator because they are just so powerful anyway.
I can almost see people using the EMP orbital strike now. Like, clear equipment and
Destroy
get
it.
war points. Although they
Yeah.
are
It will
still
give
completely
it a
useless.
Yeah.
They're the ultimate troll ammo for an Eve player. Basically, like you've saved all these points. Hi, enjoy killing no one.
Oh, but they'll get equipment kills now.
Yeah.
Yeah, 5 war points per piece of equipment. I feel that's a pretty good number considering how much people dump everything.
Yeah, I mean, all you got to do is throw one good flux grenade and you've probably got 50 war points.
The
Especially in PC
Range of the
matches.
advanced flux grenade.
It is a good answer to drop uplink spam now, because now people are getting rewarded for that. But
Yeah.
it won't stop the spam.
I don't know what stops
That's
spam.
obvious,
but-
yeah.
The spam's a lot less, I've noticed, though, because of the scanners being like needed in combat.
Mm. Well, I suppose that's also why the Logis are making something of a comeback after they got a bit of a nerf, because obviously you can carry 2 pieces of equipment, and a scanner is just a prerequisite now. If you've got one of the proto Logis, like the Galante one that can hold 4 pieces of equipment, you know, if you're using those 4 slots and one of them isn't a scanner, you're an idiot.
Unless everybody else has scanners.
So, but yeah,
Things do need to change, because now this is going to make scanners even more. Even so, instead of being 100% used by everyone, it's going to be 110% used. Everyone will have at least one scanner, maybe more.
I don't think you understand math.
yeah. But of course, the plus side of it is that the people who are the scout users who have been saying for ages they're not getting any form of love, they're going to come really into their own now. And I've already noticed that people are already specking into the damping, because I've blasted them full on with a scanner, and I can actually see them, and they don't show up at all, and they're not in a scout suit. So the actual scout users are just going to love it. You know, they actually start going into this. You know, you put a prototype profile dampener with your skills, and nothing can pick you up.
The only problem with that is these scanners, they still say no margin or some margin of error, which is something I've been asking for them to remove, because I use scanners like there was like just one thing I would always fit on my MR Logi, which is basically my MR assault for non-laser weapons, and I would just scan an area, and if it said some margin of error, I'm like, right, I know there's a scout over there, I'm going to go kill him.
Yeah.
That needs to be removed, because that was the one thing that was...
Yeah, you used to need something like scan complete or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's no margin of error if you scan everything, or if there's nothing to be scanned, and some margin of error if you
miss at least one thing.
Although, you know, like, you could totally... Like, it is possible to have a heavy with, like, 3 profile damps. Like, troll people by, like, baiting scanners to come kill you, and then just, aha, an HMG.
There you go, you just set off a new trend. Flavour of the month there from Gimbal.
Cubs actually puts one to avoid being hit by the advanced scanners, I think? Like, if you have a proto dampener on a heavy, it gets you below one of the thresholds at least.
Mm.
I know that much. I think it's the normal ones, maybe. Possibly the advanced.
Again, this is the increasing of the different tactics involved in them.
Everything
like the scanning.
Normal one, just by.
Mm.
But they are very useful. And it's making damps worth it now. Because they were kind of good before, but now they're really just...
Yeah,
incredible.
now they're actually denying war points actively, instead of just being like an extra side thing.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. But yeah, I am liking the scan points intel, and also it encourages people to use damps as well. So again, that's something else that reduces the whole flavour of the month thing. Because there's now balance and counterbalance to various tactics, and that's only going to increase as the different weapons come in.
There'll still be a flavour of the month, really.
Oh, it always will be, but
yeah,
there'll
be
be
more ways to work around it.
Yeah, there'll be more ways to deal with them. So
yeah.
It'll be more like flavour of the week.
Oh no, we'll have even more respec threads if it's flavour of the week and not month.
Okay, well, let's move on to the next warpoint thing. Transport assist. After troops have been transported over 100 meters from the point where they boarded, pilot will receive a reward equivalent to 15% of the warpoints disembarked passengers earned for 1 minute.
I can't wait for that.
That's going to be so good, but I think it's not quite high enough. I would make it 25% for the minute or 15% for 90 seconds. Let's give them something to really encourage people to start bringing in those dropships to cut people around, which is what they're meant for.
They just need a eject all passengers button.
Well,
yeah,
the thing with this is this may be the return of Logi dropships being like widely used, because if people are just constantly spawning on your dropship and coming out, you're going to get these like rolling the war points if the people spawning aren't terrible. Or,
Yeah.
but then that means forge gunners are just going to shoot you out of the sky. So
Yep.
But
That's
yeah,
kind of
it's
playing in Drooling. Like 3 matches in a row, I got the same 2 dropship pilots going against me, and I'm like,
we were in a match earlier on today with Rivera and a couple of the other guys, and we took out the same guy. We took out 3 logistic dropships the guy was using.
how
And one of
do you
them
sleep with yourself?
was from an orbital bombardment because he landed it and he was just recalling it, and we killed him with an OP.
oh, poor guy.
I love dropship pilots.
He just
make me-
realised.
they make me happy.
Oh crap! They're really chucking everything at me. I'm gonna lose another ship here, and then we killed him as he was recalling it. It was funny as hell.
I don't think it's mutual DS. I think it's an abusive relationship on your end.
Well, you know, if you see me on the other team, just don't call in a dropship. Simple as that. Because I'm going to blow it up. It may get away at first, but when it comes back, I will blow it up.
Have they slowed down the forge gun ammunition at all? Because it seems to have. I've seen
The
people dodge them now.
projectile's way slower than it used to be.
I still blow up.
Yeah.
It requires a bit more leading at extreme ranges, but if you used a forge gun in the past, you'll just get used to it within
Yeah.
a match. So
I think the sensitivity change for heavies kind of
yeah,
at first, like the first 3 or 4 days, or probably about 3 days, it was hard to hit from a distance because I would overcompensate, I guess. Like I would just, out of reaction, just barely tweak my thumbstick, and then it would just like yank over. But now I'm so used to it, it's so much better. Like, I don't know, forge sniping snipers is fun. That's like my favorite thing in the whole world.
I think there was
Particularly when they have a fail.
Yeah. There was a little bit of hate for the transport assist thing, saying why not just have a flat bonus per 100 meters? Because I think CSP thought of that and they're like, what about why don't people might just sit in a drop ship, which might make them they'll bypass the AFK thing and someone will just cart them around, and then DS will get like 7 kills when he finds them.
Well, I think they have to go 100 meters with the passengers.
Yeah.
They can't just sit there with the CRU and just basically be a
Yeah, but
CRU.
you could have 6 people AFKing, so you could have like a service. People pay you for it.
Yeah.
Well,
Well.
you don't get points unless they get points on the ground.
Yeah. Exactly.
No,
Well, the
They've got
point
it.
he's
Yeah,
making is
I
if
mean-
there was just a flat rate if you transported someone 100 meters.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A lot of people were saying on the forum was like, why isn't it flat rate? Blah blah blah.
They'd fly around in the back of the spawn
Yeah.
And,
and just wait till they get orbital.
yeah.
That'd be why.
Yeah. I don't know. I think that change is gonna make people running to objectives at the beginning of the game totally non-existent because it just doesn't make sense. It makes no sense to run for objectives anymore.
Mm.
Because I mean, it's easy to just call an LAV.
Home point in PC if you have a
Well,
rotor runner.
PC is
then-
completely different. You aren't worried about war points really in PC too much.
A little bit. But
I mean, the 15, 20 points that you get, it's really not worth
Yeah.
waiting on LAV, I guess.
I
But like
think
in public matches, I always call in a dropship so I can get up on my tower. But I'll go to an objective first and drop people off.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna get more war points from doing that. And I know there's the other people do the same thing.
As
I
long
don't
as
think
they
you're going to
kill
be
someone.
throwing
to hit the
a
ground.
dropship at all. Yes, I think you're actually just going to know that they're going to spawn a dropship, so you'll just shoot them, and then you'll get even more war points.
But yeah, I think the vehicles actually being used as transport is gonna come back, and it's gonna be awesome.
Well, that's how they should be. That's how they should be.
I'm gonna
And
see
when-
a lot more vehicles
And when
They're
the
gonna explode.
medium-sized ground vehicles come in, the larger transport vehicles, that's going to be a huge plus.
A side thing which might be quite annoying off this is you've got the Logi LAVs transporting a heavy round who gets out, kills someone because they've got no skill, and then they get back in. Now you're going to have 3 heavies in one Logi LAV getting out, killing one dude and getting back in.
Well, that just makes people more interested in killing the LEV while it's driving around and taking out 3 heavies in one go.
It's going to be interesting to see how everything plays out. I mean, one thing I asked Logibro straight away, because I like exploits. I love breaking things. So I asked him, does this bonus last 100, like the 1 minute, even if you get back into the vehicle? Because I could see that being a problem if they didn't think of that.
Here's what you need to do, Gimbal. We need to set up a thing like you did with your orbital. Have a dropship, fly the 100 meters.
Don't go into that too much.
Why?
We're not allowed to talk
Because that
about
isn't public yet. And I actually told CCP I wasn't going to talk about that.
Oh, well, it's just an orbital thing. You did an orbital thing.
Oh, no, because tons more stuff that...
There's no orbital thing. What am I talking about?
There's no orbital thing. Orbitals are fine.
But
Yes, he's talking about the grenade cooking thing.
Yeah, grenades. Boom. So
Nicely covered. Excellent.
I'm not even going to edit this out. That was hilarious.
But I mean, like okay. Theoretically, you have a full dropship. You fly the dropship the 100 meters. Someone gets out. The squad leader gets out, has the scanner. Or no, wait. 2 people hop out. One guy is not the squad leader. He has a scanner. Scans all the people for the orbital.
Oh, wait.
Then the squad leader calls in his orbital within that minute of the dropship pilot dropping him off, and it's like buku crazy points.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's teamwork.
Yeah, but
Yeah, but you can get
still,
a lot
I mean,
of
you're
war
getting-
points from
getting
that.
a lot more war points from doing
Well,
that.
as long as eventually, I think. I mean, I think within
What
a week.
What I
It'd be
think...
15 war points per squad or per scan assist, plus 15% for the transport assist, plus the kills for the orbital.
Yeah. Well,
And then
for the
I
squad
think within
order.
a week. Which is
Oh
why-
yeah, and a defend
in a
order.
week of 1.5 coming out, there will be a hotfix to increase the level for the OBs. It just
Then you have someone
I think it
repping
needs
you.
to be doubled now.
yeah, I think I was initially thinking 3,000, but now
Now
I'm
with the
thinking
scanning.
4,000.
Because
Yeah.
what I'm thinking is you have a tank and it has 3 people in it, like 2 extra gunners, because they haven't removed the extra guns yet. Because every tanker's gonna do that when it lands because they want more tank. But you have the 3 you have the 3 turret tank. You drive 100 meters or more. 2 your spare gunners get out, scan, get back in the tank, and then you go kill people. And I'm really curious because they'll get those scanner war points no matter what. If you get the bonus like for transporting on top of that, I think that would be crazy.
We don't know yet. We'll have to figure it out on the 8th.
Well, this is the beauty of them actually putting out the patch notes over a week before they come out, because then we can start talking amongst ourselves and we can tell them within 3 or 4 days, usually within a day, and you'll just turn around and say, no, actually that's going to break because that's what we'll do. You guys didn't figure it out, but we figured it out because we're conniving bastards. So so that's not good. So you need to fix that. You've got a week. You've set yourself the date of October the 8th, so you've now got until then to sort it out because it's just going to be carnage. So this is what the CPM have been asking for, about having the patch notes out a little bit earlier. I mean, last patch we had, they came out on the Friday, didn't they? The Friday before?
4 days
Like
before, I think.
Yeah, so it was literally 3 or 4 days, whereas this time we've got nearly 10 days of.
Yeah.
So I guess Commander Wang was wrong then.
My other question is if it's going to work with vehicle scanners.
No.
No,
Ooh.
not
Not
It's
for this
just the
patch.
handhelds.
not for this patch.
That's
that's-
1.6 apparently. If they
Mhm.
are gonna do that at all,
Yeah.
because that will just come with the vehicle change, but not for this.
Mm.
Okay, what else is there? Next one, headshot kills give 60 war points. So that's plus 10 from what you're getting now.
Yeah.
Woo.
Well, yeah.
Charlie likes that.
I get 450% damage bonus to that anyway. I'm just getting a few more points out of it.
Well, I mean, it's better that you get something for it because it does require
Yeah.
something of skill to do.
Well, you do get the big gong sound.
Well, yeah, you do get the big dong
Yeah.
sound, but frankly, I get enough dong sounds in the rest of the game. So, but I'm happy with I'm happy for that anyway because I get a few with my AR.
I can't get headshots with my forge gun. It's bullshit.
You
You
need to
can.
try harder, dude.
You can.
No, you can't.
You can.
I have set up a shot on somebody.
You haven't said
A
it. but
sniper.
do nothing.
I
Unless,
go up behind a sniper and put it on his head, like from this far away. No gong. Bullshit.
I've
It
got
might
Or
be
a
my
because-
extra 10 more
It might be
points.
because the forge gun is so bloody loud you can't hit the gun.
Yeah,
Well, it says plus 50.
I've got a gong. So
But you'll find out now because it'll say plus 60 if you get it.
Yeah.
So, and you'll
True.
go, oh right, it's always because the forge gun has been too loud.
Okay. Headshot skill. I can see some people switching away from mass drivers or thing to try and get more headshots, but I guess snipers will be
No.
really happy about this. But yeah,
Well,
moving
So
on.
they should be.
Next one, counter hacking finally gives war points. Get 75 per counter hack.
Yeah.
It's about damn time.
Yeah.
Things that should have been in the game a year ago include.
mini lodges are going to be very
Yeah.
popular.
Yeah,
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 topics
exactly. Mini
happening
lodges
all
are going to just, they're going to be worth their weight in gold in that one.
Well, now
Yeah.
people are going to let people get the hack so they can kill them and get the counter hack.
Which is so
I
funny
won't.
I
because
thought we did that
'Cause I kill
anyway.
them. I kill them whenever I see the thing flashing from my
Yeah.
nice little perch. Dommel.
but yeah, counter hacking finally in the game.
Worth something
Very
for the
happy.
5 minutes you are sat there going.
Oh, it's so slow. And I mean, I get why it's really slow, but
Yeah.
you want to be rewarded for that. Most of the time, you're counter hacking and you don't even finish it in time.
Yeah.
So this is going to be a reason to get
And then you
that
have
hacking
to-
skill and those hacking mods as well.
Exactly. This is what's going to make people spend their SP in other parts of the game that would normally get neglected, like the damping with the scanner. You now got the hacking. You know how many? I've got a couple of points in hacking, nothing major, but this would be a real, And of course, it's going to. A lot of people are going to now use a low slot for a code breaker. So again, that's going to start lowering the tanks on a lot of suits. Because they're having to use something else. So again, this is all about the balancing of the game involved. People think the game's imbalanced, and it's not because there's just so much other stuff you can do. It's
Yeah. That's assuming that people aren't just unoriginal and they're going to stick to the Caldari lodges with max.
well, if they're unoriginal,
armor.
stick to Caldari lodges, they're just not going to survive very long in the game.
Our
'cause
lodges aren't even that good.
no,
People still
Pretty
use
good.
them though.
they're pretty
They are
good.
pretty.
They have the most
Caldari
slots
lodges
of any
are
suit in
pretty
the game.
broken.
Worth
But-
noting.
They also have a CPU or nerf, so you can't
It's-
You
fit
can
good
just
stuff.
not carry as
It's
much
still
equipment. though.
workable.
Well, if
Is
you're going
there-
to use that, you could just get the Galante one and get the 5% per level decrease in this equipment slot.
Yeah. Oh well. Anyway, we'll see how it plays out.
Mm.
Last thing, as far as war points, is they've updated the UI for the message.
I wonder what that means.
I think
Yeah.
it's just getting it because at the moment when you shoot something, it's just in your face saying you've got this. And I think a lot of people are like, I know, I've just killed them. I know what war points I get. I think it's just going to move that out of the way to make it less cluttered.
Mm.
Maybe that's what my
I
guess is.
like it popping up in my face. That-
For a photo generator,
So-
no
that's-
homo. No homo.
Uh-huh.
Sorry, you let yourself open for that one.
I know. Grenade, boom. It's me my go-to. Forget I said anything.
I guess it's gonna be like a little scrolling thing in the top right, maybe.
Mm.
Mm.
So you can actually see your
that
history
warp,
of it
that
or
war
something.
feed needs sorting out anyway. So
With theory crafting.
No, we're just talking about the UI. Right, I guess we'll move on from Warpoint changes. Actually, it's funny, those are like the gameplay changes.
Yeah.
yeah,
No real. There's like, I guess you could say Warpoint's gameplay,
They're
but
more like UI kind of.
I guess. Yeah, it's like reward system as opposed to.
I think
Whatever.
Danny
We're gonna
wants
move on
to
to
do the next
Danny's
bit.
favorite part of this
Yeah.
match.
Hey, I'm a CEO too.
You're not a CEO of like
One.
5
Wait,
million
actually-
people, though.
Hang on, Iden's a CEO, right?
You're a CEO of a one-man corp.
Those
Well,
DS.
no, no,
Leosa
three-man
was as
corp.
well.
Not anymore.
Yeah,
But-
he got banned from Reddit. He got banned from his CEO.
So I guess me and Reaver are the only
Reaver.
ones here who haven't been CEOs.
No.
I'm not really a
a
CEO.
director.
I'm just by myself.
Yeah, I've got 3 members, all of them are me. So I wouldn't say.
yeah, but now you don't have to make them all directors.
Okay. Do you just want to go over the notes then, Danny?
Yeah, because basically the notes are everything I've been telling them to do for a sodding year. This is, I think I tweeted. I don't think, like I said, it would be unfair of me to say that these were put in at my request. It would be fair to say that they were put in to shut me up. So obviously now we've got corporation CEOs and directors can now hand out roles to other members in the corporation. So the following roles can be granted in addition to the director role, which is the accountant, responsible for a corporation wallet. Accountants have the ability to transfer ISK from the corporation's mercenary wallet, as well as monitor the corporation's wallet transactions. That's okay in conjunction with the other ones. As a role by itself, I can't see really much need for it. But in conjunction with, say, the personnel director, who can then give money to people who have just joined, if that's what you want to do in your corporation. That again, it's how these roles all work together. That's going to be the key. So I mentioned personnel director. So charged with growing a corporation's membership, a personnel director has the ability to accept applications to the corporation from other mercenaries. See, this is the one that I really wanted because we get so many applications at the uni. It's averaging between 30 and 40 a day. And it can be a bit of a workload. And I feel a personnel role is a good way of rewarding someone who doesn't really want to do very much in terms of activities within the corporation, but is a reasonably active enough member for you to be able to go, can you do this for us while you're online? And gives them some impetus. The terrestrial combat officer. Now, this is the one that a lot of people aren't bothered about, to be honest. It's handy. If it had been in when AWOXing first came in, I would imagine that it would be a lot more acceptable. But it's basically charged with organising the corporation's ground forces. Terrestrial combat officers can join all planetary conquests conflicts, bringing members of their squad into the battle with them. The mercenaries in the squad being brought into the battle do not need to be members of the Terrestrial Combat Officers Corporation. So that's basically just a way of making sure that if you really wanted to, you could have a hardcore group of your corporation, make them all terrestrial combat officers, and it would be that they were the only guys that went into it to stop people AWOXing you. But that just depends on how people want to run their corp. And then the terrestrial logistics officer, responsible for managing the corporation's terrestrial operations and logistics. This includes managing district reinforcement windows, district surface infrastructure, moving and selling clowns. Again, something else when used in conjunction with the accountant role. That basically means that you've got someone that's just responsible for changing timers and stuff like that, rather than just having to let directors do everything. I mean, I don't know how everyone else feels about having roles in finally. I can just... it's just very, very happy.
I think at the start, a lot of people are going to forget about the TCO role, and PC will just be laughably one-sided for one team because no one can join the teams.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
So-
feel like from Giant's point of view, and I guess Reaver can back me up on this, everybody's just gonna be TCOs.
Pretty much.
And I imagine a lot of corps are just gonna have that as well. Like everybody's gonna be a TCO.
Yeah. But yeah, so I mean that's a sort of like hand back to when they were first talking about when the AWOXing first happened as a way of being able to sort it out. But the temporary fix that they brought in with directors being able to go in there and kick people out if necessary, that's probably more effective for AWOXing rather than having a TCO role. But it's a role that's some people are not going to find useful. In terms of compared to the other ones, it's going to be more of a niche thing than the other ones are. But it's the combination of the roles that you can add, because you can make some. You don't have to make someone a full director to be able to do the accountant, to be able to accept people into a corporation and be able to give money out. So it's just a layer of security that a lot of corporations would want. And until we get the CREST system up and running properly, and we can't do background checks really unless you use the Eve client, it's going to make some people a lot happier, I'd have thought.
Is that person you, Denny?
Yeah, and me. Yeah. That person is indeed me. But no, it's in all seriousness. No, it's one of those things that I believe that's going to help the game in the long run. It's necessary. We were talking about it earlier before we came on. There are people in the game who are insistent that the game is being overtaken by Eve players who don't know anything about FPS. Well, we might not know everything about FPS, but we know a lot about massively multiplayer online gaming, and this is not just an FPS; it's a massively multiplayer online FPS. So we need we need these things like the corporation roles in place for future expansions. If they're not put in now, it's going to make adding new content a lot more difficult. So if you put it in now, when it's a relatively small thing to do, then it's just going to make the game much more interesting. It's
Okay.
not sexy. It's not sexy. It's not a new weapon or anything like that.
It's
but
just a nice quality of life change.
Yeah.
I think a lot of this patch is.
It's a reduction in CEO suicide rates.
Well, yeah. I mean, you jokingly say that, but I think we could all spend the next 10 minutes reeling off lists of corporations over the whole last year that have burnt out, purely because the CEO has been unwilling to give as many people directors roles as he needs because there's all these security issues. And this will help. This will help mitigate some of that burnout, I think. And it will encourage people to actually start doing their own corporations. And we need more corporations. The more corporations we have, the more the game grows, the way the community grows with it, and then when the community starts growing with it, we'll get the bigger players, more players in. It's really that simple.
Okay, I think that's us for corporations. Anyone else have any thoughts, or shall we just move on?
I'm totally affected by everything that he just said.
Burned.
Well, I think you'll be
Every
happy
role.
about the stuff that's coming up in this. Like, I mean, this is bug fixes and polish, but this is all like major changes, really.
Oh yeah, it's good stuff. I'm just screwing around.
Oh no, like I'm talking about the stuff that's coming up. is like stuff that you'll be happy about. Network library has been optimized for better network performance. That just means there's going to be less lag, hopefully. So
Mhm.
always good. Improved server client performance, so I guess less lag again.
Well, that's actually, I think that's more to do with pulling information from TQ, which is again goes to the member list. Doesn't matter so much on
Oh
a
yeah,
small.
they were saying if you have like a huge member list that takes like a minute to load, it'll take like
Oh, it takes
a
more
few
than that. I mean, it's
seconds.
actually, I'm actually mentioned in the dev blog. I couldn't believe it when I read that.
Like now
But-
it takes 4 seconds.
Yeah, it was like three. They asked me to time it, and I've got a 120 meg connection at home, and a solid state hard drive put in my PS3, and it took me just under 3 minutes to load 1,300 members. So that's without the roles being added. So of course, they've managed to shrink that down to 5 seconds. So you just have to ask yourself what kind of coding crap was in the way to stop that in the first place. And that's one of the things that need fixing now, because that leads on having that pulling all that data from TQ to your PS3. That leads that's a root system, because that's going to branch onto the market when it goes integrated with Eve. It's going to branch into contracts. It's going to branch into
Bitting as
yeah,
well, I
corp
imagine.
hangers. It's going to reach into everything. So just the fact that while they were doing the roles, they realised that the download speed wasn't good enough. And fixed that. That means it's going to make everything else that's going to require it so much easier in the future. It's just one of those things that, one thing that doesn't sound particularly sexy actually leads to something that makes everything else a lot easier in the future. It's all
Okay,
about the big
All
picture.
about Denny.
Yeah, damn straight.
1.5 Denny's little patch.
Denny uprising.
Yeah, the
No,
shut
it's-
Denny up.
Yeah, it's Denny's shut up patch.
Next one, rendering fixes.
This is big.
That's huge.
It is
I
huge.
can't wait to be able to see snipers.
I know. I can't wait to be able to see if there's terrain in the way or not.
Yeah.
It also will include tanks, so we're going to see a lot more redline tankers. Yay!
Yeah, that
Now
is
if you
going
had
to
to
piss
see
me
'em.
off.
But
I'll
you're
blow
also
'em up.
going to be able to see those redline tankers.
Exactly.
It's
So-
that point. We've always been able to see them. We've always been able to see them run backwards when anyone looked at them.
Cowards. As a general rule, I always call tankers cowards for that very reason.
I wonder if it's worth it ISK-wise to just have a dropship full of people with AV grenades, like packed AV grenades. Just drop them on them, like suicide run.
Depends how well you can name the dropship, because I got amused by buying militia dropships and just killing every vehicle I saw.
Oh yeah, because they
Bizarre.
kill anything they crash into,
Yeah.
don't they?
Yeah, so I generally just for a few weeks I just bought I spent probably 50 mil on militia dropships, got into them and rammed them into things every match, day in day out.
They should have a module for that. just to increase the rate, the gravity of your dropship.
The full speed ahead.
The kamikaze module. Put a diamond coated knob on the end of the drops.
Excuse me.
Big dick. Well, they always have that thing, don't they, with the 4X, time to dick. With the painting of them. That's why they've always never wanted to put skins into Eve, customizable skins into Eve, because it was just time to dick, I think is what Soundwave, how he described it.
Following episode of Boots on the Ground contains mature language.
I think it's kind of a given
Dick.
if I'm on the show.
Right, Mom, she's gone out. Right, today.
Way to not switch your mic off.
For a party or something.
Alright, we'll move on. I mean, rendering fixes is just huge. I have to see it for myself to see if it actually works, but If I can actually see if there's the amount of times I've aimed at someone and it said there's terrain in the way when there isn't, and
Yeah.
the amount of times I've aimed at someone and there isn't terrain, it says there isn't terrain when there actually is. If they can fix those, I'll be very happy.
Well, to be fair to CCP, whenever they've put in their patch notes rendering fix of some description or graphic update, that has been quite a significant graphic update. So,
Yeah, that's true.
If they're actually making it so specifically so you can actually see these people now, then I think a lot of people are going to just go apeshit over that one. Just depends on how good it is. You know, I mean, remember it's a PS3 we're dealing with here, not not the PS4. Hint, hint, CCP.
It's not a Steam box. That's
No.
actually we can mention that later, but we'll get these patch notes wrapped up, and then that'll be the first half done, and we'll split this recording. Next one, melee exploit is fixed.
Thank
Sorry,
Christ.
Ariana.
Thank God. It wasn't just Ariana, it was other people starting to do it as well.
Lots of other people.
You just hear that
just-
noise and then you die.
I never got
50
killed by it,
like
but
melee
mostly
attacks hitting you.
because I was up on the tower.
Probably
But
did.
yeah, I never had any.
I'm going to encourage people to invest in melee mods and go around one-shotting people. So people will complain on the forums, and then eventually they'll realize, oh, there are other modules than Caldari Logisuits and shield extenders?
Yeah.
Wow, I never knew this before.
Well, that goes back to the new player experience, doesn't it? It doesn't tell you half this
They're going to experience my fists.
Doesn't tell you half of this
Well,
stuff.
The melee bug has been in the game since Mordu's private trials, but it was never an issue, mainly because of performance. The only reason I didn't like it until now is because once people started using it to this sort of effect, which was one-shotting people without using any mods for it, so there was something wrong, was the fact that if I used my melee suit and so much as just did the animation, not even killed him. If I did the animation, I'd get hate mail, or I'd like, oh, I'm reporting you for glitching. Like, what? So I'm gonna be happy that's gone.
Yeah, melee is still going to be viable, even after this.
Can the heavy suit, like, with the, like, all melee damage mods, melee for almost 1,000?
You're
That's the
talking
commando.
No. Nope. The commando can get, if you've got the HEP mods from an event ages ago, you can scratch 800 damage in one punch. That
Well,
being
their
said,
baseline 650, right? Melee.
That's enough to take down most scouts.
base 650.
Well, to be
It's
fair, you could probably file
240
those
for the
cards
commando
and
is the
take 'em
highest
out.
base.
I think the commando's base melee damage is like 650.
No,
It's
its
240.
base melee damage is like 240, and then if you use 2 melee damage mods, it goes 6 something.
Maybe that's what it was.
420.
Someone was
damage.
telling me some ridiculous number, and I was like, I'm not letting anybody near me ever again.
Yeah. The
I'm taking the DS strategy.
the one I
Roof.
use, my favorite one is just the Minotaur Assault because it's got speed, it's got good stamina.
Got 5
and
highs.
It's got 5 highs, so I just fit 5 damage mods, and I've got 594 melee damage on a medium, which is enough to one-shot most people who aren't just pure tank.
But yeah, it's just more strategy. Yeah, more things for people to do in order to compete in the game.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's going to be interesting to see what happens. Hopefully someone listens to this. Actually, it's fun. It's going to be funny because I'm going to see if the melee people actually adapt. Like, clearly, like, Ariana has invested something into melee skills and actually has 1 damage mod. Because whenever I've fought him, he doesn't have any tank, so, or barely any, so he's obviously using 1 or 2 damage mods. I'm going to be interested to see if people actually invest more and put more damage mods into it. Yeah.
No, they're just going to switch back to shotguns.
Yeah, that's also viable. Right, what else is there? Fixed issue with drop-up links that sometimes prevents valid drop-up links from being displayed. That is that the bug where you see them on the map, but you can't spawn on them?
That was fixed last patch.
Okay.
I think this one was.
They're
Where-
laid down, but you can't see them on the map, and you can't spawn
Yeah.
onto them. Even though, like, it'd be basically like me throwing down my uplinks in a pub match, and then you going, "We have no uplinks," and I'm like, "I have all of mine down. What are you talking
Yeah.
about?"
It was just an inconsistency that needs to be fixed.
All right,
And
so
now-
you're
and-
telling me then all these drop-up link spawns are only half as big as they are.
In some matches, there were in one of the final, I think it was the semi-finals that we had in the Urgent Fury tournament. Half our drop-up links were not working, and the other half we couldn't spawn on. Well, a lot of them we couldn't spawn on, which were fixed in the later patches.
Well, that's good. That's another one of these small things that are irksome.
Yeah.
You won't normally think about it, but obviously it makes a great deal of difference to some people.
Yeah.
So, this is the thing a lot of people. Not all the patch. Not everything in the patch note is aimed specifically at you.
Unless you're Denny.
Unless you're me. But there's so everyone goes, oh well, that screwed up my game. Yeah, but it's probably made a lot of other people's games a lot better. So, that's always something you've got to take into account with these patch notes.
And
Right.
then the final patch note that fixes Iron Delta Defender's side, because this was basically the only reason this was fixed.
The
There was
RDV navigation issues around sockets in almost all situations, or fixed RDV.
Yeah, the worst one was on Iron Delta north side. If you were near ground spawn, near your home point, you spawn an RDV. It was like, okay, I'm going to come to you, and then it does a lap around the big socket thing that's part of the map, and then it'll come back around to you, and they'll do another lap, and it'll come back around. And it's like, no, I'll do one more lap. No, just one more. It just gets stuck completely.
You didn't really want this tank, did you?
Yeah. I've actually had one. I spawned a dropship there once, and it did loads of these laps. And then eventually, it then just dive bombed me. It was just like, I'm gonna kill you. I'm gonna dive bomb you. My dropship got half stuck in the map, and then that was it. It exploded, and I was like, right, okay, I'm not dropshipping today. That was a 900k dropship. That was the first assault dropship I ever bought after skilling into it. It was a good start.
Hell, if you don't crash your first dropship, you're not doing it right.
Is this going to fix the issue where they'll sometimes spawn on the top floor of the starting area? Some maps.
Maybe.
Just run away.
Oh,
Just go further.
because it's really annoying when
Duh.
it puts tanks up on the second floor of a building.
I think how I feel. I'm a heavy, so whenever it goes up top, I lose it. I just give up on it. Just say, hey, one of you fast guys go get it, because if you don't, I'm gonna lose it. And usually Blueberry gets it, and then they're like, yeah, and then they die, and it's just like, okay, thanks.
I like it.
Thanks for the non-lock ability. Non-lock ability? I'm gonna say that's a word. I don't know. I think vehicles should at least be squad locked, but whatever. We'll see. 1.6.
Actually, there was a video recently of Nod Karras from Synergy going around in a tank game, but when he first joined the game, he called the tank in and it went on the second floor. Somebody had to get a dropship to take him up to his tank to recall it so he could then go back down and call it in further away from the start zone. So I'm really hoping they're fixing that issue.
But we sit and bitch and whine and moan about all these issues, right? But the truth of the matter is, they're quite funny half the time.
They are.
After the game, they're funny.
After the game, they're funny.
During the game, you want to rip Logibro's throat.
And it's not even his fault.
Even though he doesn't do anything, all he does is tell them what we're bitching about, basically. I guess that's what he does.
Poor guy.
I like Logibro. He's a cool guy.
Everybody likes Logi Bro. Like one of the
He
few
needs a
people
pay
who
rise.
seemingly does work. Like he's one of the guys you could tell when he's actually doing work. See
Because
him.
he's usually in comms. He's usually in our comms channels.
He works until like 11 at night every night. We call him up, we're like, oh yeah, where are you? Like, oh, I'm still at the office. The internet connection here is amazing. Why would I want to leave?
Yeah, he stays there to play.
Yeah, he does.
Although I think he was out last night. I think he got dragged out.
They were doing the Eve room.
Yeah, and
Which
then
was,
they went and had drinks, I think.
Yeah.
Till the wee small hours.
Right. So I think that's everything as far as 1.5 news goes. I mean, there was some dev
Yay.
blogs on this, but that's all the actual stuff
Mm.
covered really in the patch. So I'm going to split this recording because we've been going for an hour and a quarter. I think we're going to wait for Leosa to get back because he said he'd be back in like 10 minutes from now. So
Yeah. Said 15, didn't he?
I'm going to grab a drink. But thanks for watching the first half. Next half, we're going to do events and other stuff happening. See you soon.
Yay.
Yay.